Welcome back, folks. Today we're going to be working on getting the rubber out of this engine mount. So I found the best way to get the rubber out is by literally catch it on fire and just let her burn. So as you can see here, I let it get nice and hot, and once the inside gets nice and gooey, you can kind of just throw it against the ground and the insert comes out of it. Now the rest of it that's up here, I'm going to let it cool off a little bit because the outer casing is aluminum, the inside's rubber. The rubber's going to burn really hot. You don't want to get that aluminum basically to a liquid state. If you do that and you start deforming the mount, then it's ruined. So kind of do it in stages. Don't just like let it burn all the way through. I guess you can if you're feeling frisky, but me personally, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna let it cool for just a minute because aluminum cools off really fast, and then we'll hit it with some more fire and let it burn. Remember, folks, it's really easy to let yourself get a dirty workspace, but if you keep your messes cleaned up when they're small, you keep a tidy workspace, and typically things actually go along faster than if you just make a mess and keep making a mess on top of the mess. You can find things better, it's easier to work in, and yeah, it's just nicer. So with the center out, you see that little lip around the top edge there that's kind of clean. There's a pressed in actual bushing there, and that's what the whole thing is. But after you catch it on fire, you can get this thing out real nice and neat, and it comes out clean. And the rest of it, I'm just going to use this little cat's paw thing and a hammer, and we're just gonna bang it until it comes out. So I'm working on getting a little jig set up here just to make it pour in, and what you want to do, you want to make sure this bolt hole is exactly where it came out of. In this case, it was in the dead center. So I know this mounts to the car, so this is going to be facing down. I remember that thing faced down, so just place that back in there like that. Now the centerpiece is wider than the rest of the housing there, so I'm trying to figure out a good way to space one side, you know, and the other side just to hold it up, and I think I've got it pretty well right there. I might put another little something on the right side, but not even this thick. Like I'll use something else to space it up just a fraction of a hair. Once you get your jig set up how you want it, you're gonna want to use some blue painter's tape, go on the back side, and basically tape it all down. In this case, I'll probably put the tape on the top side here just so I can keep everything nice and flat, or I may even build something because this is a little bit bigger than the control arm bushing, so I might use like a paper plate and cut something out and kind of make it so it holds on there. It doesn't have to be exact. You're just trying to. So I decided to go with the plate method. I'm going to lay that on the plate, and I'm going to trace the circumference of it, and we'll cut that out, and then we'll lay, I call that the key. We'll lay the key in the middle of the piece that we cut out. We'll trace it, and then we'll cut it out as well so it can slide through. You can set that on top. Then we'll use the blue painter's tape around the edges to seal it up real nice so it doesn't leak everywhere, and that should be it. Alright folks, well, that looks to be pretty dang good if you ask me. Setup was about 20 minutes total, maybe a little bit less, and that was from cutting out the template, taping it on, all that. The stuff with the burning outside, that was probably another 20 minutes or so. But now that we've got it prepped, we're going to turn it over this way. We're going to get it set back on its jig, I guess you could call it, and yeah, we're going to get this thing filled. We'll start pouring the urethane. Alright folks, that only took about an hour, so let's go check it out. So I may have got it a little bit full, but it's okay. That stuff actually comes off pretty easily after it's dry. You can just kind of slice it with a razor knife and pick it off with your thumbnail. But yeah, it's filled, looks good. I don't think it's leaking out the bottom there. But yeah, we'll come back here in a few hours and we'll glaze it with a torch and we'll kind of bring some of those bubbles out of it. But as for right now, we're just going to let it sit. Okay folks, so here it is. We are done. It's solid. It's been 2 or 3 days. We've got a little bit on the side here, but if you get under it and you just pick it with your fingernail, you can just peel it right off. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to clean this up a little bit and then we'll slap it in the old car. Just so y'all can see a side by side before I put the new one in. The OTTP one is much narrower, and because of that, you need these spacers to go on either side of it to center it up. But on top of that, this section here is just a touch a little bit bigger on that. Let's see if we can't overlap them. See, there we go. So those holes are lined up, as you can see here. It's just a little bit. It's basically like, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch or so longer. So it's not too much longer, but this one is for lower cars. It'll help rotate the engine forward just a touch to help the axles lay more straight in there. This car isn't lowered, so I'm going to go and put this one on it. The OTTP one will end up on the red line. Okay folks, so we have got it installed, and you want to be careful with your shifter cables there that come through, but we got the mount installed, everything tightened down on there. And unfortunately I'm still waiting on the axle seal over here. Get a new one in, replace that, and then we can throw this side back together, but I can't take it for a test drive today because we're going to wait on that, and don't feel like driving it without any transmission fluid in it. But for now, we got her done. So motor mount is complete. We're going to work on the front mount next, and I'll see y'all then. Thanks for stopping by. Peace.